to another episode of Creative Writing Advice with me, JJ Barnes. If you don't know me, I am the author of How to Write a Story, which is out now, where I take you from the beginning of your story all the way through the middle to the end, and I cover everything in between. So before I start today's episode, I just want to say something that's quite important, quite exciting, quite big. Woo! This is episode 100. 100! Episode 100. I'm really proud of myself because when I started this series, it was after having never done them on my own, really. I'd done the kids on my own, the kids series, which was much smaller, like 5-minute episodes, and it was simplified because it was for children, intended to help and encourage kids. But that was the first time doing any of it on my own, and then this is my first series where I have talked to adults on my own in a sort of more formal way, and I didn't know how it would go. I wasn't sure, and here we are. We're on episode 100, and that's a really big deal for me, and I've had a lot of support and a lot of love and a lot of encouragement along the way, and people have been really cool and really kind. I've had people tell me that the work I do and the videos I make and the lessons and encouragement I give have given them like confidence and inspired them and really helped them, which is like the best feeling, really, the best feeling in the world. And these videos on a Monday that I do, where it's Ask Me Anything, I get sent so many questions, and I have a bag full here and more come in all the time, and I just stick them right in, and it's lovely because it means you guys want to get to know me, and that's incredibly like flattering and touching that you care. So thank you for helping me get to 100 on this little series that I'm doing here. And I'm a really small YouTuber, I know I am, compared to so many people out there who have like massive audiences, and more power to them. I admire them and respect them a lot, but I am still teeny tiny. But despite being teeny tiny, I am very proud of my work, and I feel like I'm doing something good. So thank you for being part of that for me. So my little gushing overexcited thing over. I will get on with what I'm doing, which is the Ask Me Anything, which, as I say, people send questions about literally any subject at all in the world. Some of them are to do with the writing and the storytelling, and some are to do with me personally and my life, and some are just obscure, strange things that I don't know why you want to know them, but you do, and I do my best always to answer and tell the truth and give you what you want, which is getting to know me and my thoughts. So they go in here, and yeah, I will dive right in. I don't do all of them in one go because I get them sent in all the time, there's too many, but I mix them up. Some are old, some are new. Like, genuinely, I don't know what is going to come out. I don't plan this in advance. I just dive straight in, so we'll see what happens. Okay, I'm always a little nervous. Okay, let's see. Okay. What's your favourite childhood cartoon? Oh gosh, I think Gummy Bears. I loved the Gummy Bears. Gummy Bears! Loved it. Bouncing here and there and everywhere. I loved it with their gummy berry juice. I loved the Gummy Bears. I loved that they were really cute. They had these awesome adventures, and there was bad guys and there was bouncing, and yeah, I loved the Gummy Bears. I know it's probably supposed to be something cool like Thundercats or Transformers, but it's not. It's Gummy Bears. Okay, let's see. Okay. Do you easily feel the cold? Yes, I do. And I know it's February, and I'm most of the time when I do these videos, I'm wearing like little strappy, you know what I mean? But that is because it gets really hot in here, because I've got the big lights and like the bulbs, like they're really hot, and it's a small little space that I use here. It's not like a big massive studio. It's a little tiny cramped little area with big lights, and I get really hot doing this. But most of the time in like general sort of day-to-day life, yes, I feel the cold so much. Like sometimes, like back when we were able to do school runs, which obviously we can't right now, but we will be doing soon probably, like I would walk to school with Katie and she'd be wearing like pumps and sort of jeans and like, but no socks, and like, and I'd always just be like, oh my gosh, Katie, are your ankles not so cold? Because I would have like my thick tights and boots on. Because I don't like being cold. Like, I will sleep in like a big woolly jumper and fluffy socks, and we have a proper duvet, and like, yeah, I feel the cold. And the thing is, it's funny because I love the cold weather. Actually, I love the cold weather. I don't like hot weather because I get all blotchy and sweaty, and I get grumpy. But when it's cold, I like it to be really, really cold, but I like to be really, really warm in the cold. I'm just a fuss ass, basically. I like to make it difficult for people. But that's how I am. I can't change it. It is just what it is. Okay. Describe your favourite film in the worst way possible. Okay. Right. So, scientists mess up and giant lizards kill people. Now you see, that still sounds cool. Lizards destroy theme park and no, it sounds cool. There is no bad way of describing Jurassic Park. There just isn't. It's just too cool. There is nothing I can do about that. I'm sorry, I cannot give you a bad description of that film on account of it is just too excellent. There is no uncool way of describing a film that good. It just can't be done. But onwards. Alright. Okay. Where would you rather live in the world than have? Where would you... Oh, here. It's mine. Where would you rather live in the world than here? Well, I live in a little town in the middle of England. It's a lovely little town, like, don't get me wrong, it's a lovely little town and it's beautiful, and if you see any of my photography stuff, like, it is genuinely, it's a beautiful place. There's beautiful landscape and architecture and history, and it's a really genuinely lovely little town. But I want to be a filmmaker, and I can write my books here, and I love my books, and I will never stop being proud of my books, but I feel like that is just one aspect of who I am, and it's an important one. Like, don't get me wrong, like, it's a massively important part of who I am, and I love who I am with my books, but I want to make movies. I want to make movies, and I feel like I want to be in one of those cities. I always said I wanted to live in Hollywood, in California, or at least on the outskirts of Hollywood, just to be near that, a world that is just so dedicated and passionate to a medium that I love so much and want to do, because I feel so alive on a film set. And I imagine if you live in a place that is dominated by film sets and the work that goes into producing a movie, because I don't want to be an actor. I really don't want to be an actor. I have no performance urges. Like, I know I do this, and don't get me wrong, I love doing this, but it's not because of the performing. It's because of the helping and the doing, the thing where I talk about a subject that I love. I don't have a performer's urge, but I have got a production urge, and I love everything about filmmaking. The behind the scenes world of a movie or a TV show is my happy place. I am the kind of writer, right, because I'll be on the set and I'm like in the makeup room, like, you need help? I'll be in costume, like, anyone need anything? Like, I've held lights, you know, just sort of angled lights to be there, and I've run lines with actors, and yeah, I've sort of been like, I'll stick the fake nails on for you, and just sat in the makeup room, and they're like, this is strange, because writers don't normally sort of, you know what I mean? I'm just sitting on the floor in the makeup room gluing actors on, like, nails onto an actor, because it's not I don't want to just write, I want to be involved in all of it. It just, I can't even, I don't know if I'm like explaining it right. Just, there's so much magic and creative energy in all these different departments. It's not just the director and the performers that make that thing happen, the life. Like, I mean, and I'm discounting as if the writers don't, like, no, it's just not, I just mean that's the job that I'm familiar with. But, so, like, the directors, the writers, and the performers probably get the most sort of credit. But if you're behind the scenes on a film or TV show and you see these people, like just hordes of people just working so creatively and passionately on their art to contribute to the bigger thing. Because if the makeup people don't do it, or the costume people don't do it, or the lighting people don't do it right, like, it's not the same experience. And when they all are able to put themselves and their passion and their craft into the thing that they love, it feeds this bigger thing, and then we get, as the audience, to experience it. And being around that much creativity and passion and energy, it just, oh God, honestly, if you could like boil that down into like a drink, the behind the scenes on a film or TV show drink, it would just, it's magical. And I miss it. I miss being on a set behind the camera. Definitely, I don't want to be an actor, but I want to be on a set again. So yeah, I would like to live somewhere that is closer to the thing that I love so much. Okay. Sexiest accent in the UK or the Republic of Ireland? Now, right, okay, so I am a little biased here because my partner is a Liverpool Northern Ireland heritage blend, and I can't, I love, that's not fair because it's not just because of that, it always was. I love the city of Liverpool, and I love the Scouse accent. Like, it's just so warm. And the Irish accent, it's just beautiful. And I don't really, I think of myself as not particularly having an accent, but I'm told I do. I'm told that I have sort of posh English, which makes no sense really, because I wasn't born anywhere particularly posh, but I think my mother probably was the influence for that. But I don't think of myself as having an accent. I think I've got like a neutral to bland accent. I'm not a fan of my voice or way of speaking, it just is. But when I hear people speak with, and Scottish as well, like Glasgow is beautiful. I love a kilt. I love Welsh, to be fair. People laugh at the Welsh accent as if it's sort of, I don't know, but it's beautiful. So yeah, I can't pick. I'm sorry. I'll go Liverpudlian. I'll go with the Scouse, but it's not because I don't love the others. It's just the place I've been the most, so I've heard it spoken most. Okay. I talked for a really long time about my love of film, so I'm probably like well over time here and boring you. What is beautiful to you? Is this like things and I find beautiful, or like a dictionary definition of beautiful? Okay, I'll do both. So what I find beautiful, I find my children beautiful. My children are beautiful. I mean, they're weird looking little things. Strange little kids I have. Like, I love the bones of them, but they're a bunch of oddities. But they're incredibly beautiful with it. Just so beautiful. Like, breathtakingly beautiful. But then other than my children, I really, really like, let me see, I like landscape. City landscape. When it's old brickwork, I love old brickwork with lights. I really love old streets with lamps and trees, where you've got all the different shapes and shadows and movement and just layers of colour and texture on an old cobbledy street with, yeah, where the light is sort of glowing, but it casts big shadows and the different shapes of the bus. I think that's beautiful, because it's so much human has lived in that. When you look at really old buildings, like, and then you see photographs going back in time where you can just see that building and that street going back and back and back, and you think about all the people and all the stories that have lived in and around those old buildings that are still there and still being used, with new stories happening all the time in them. I think that is beautiful. New build buildings, like I live in a new build, it doesn't interest me. I mean, it's not brand new build, it's like 30 years old new build, but it's fine. Like, but buildings that have had so much life, I feel like it becomes part of them. Like, it sort of, when you go into really old buildings or really old streets, and you can see the way, as they say, the textures and the shadows and the light feels like it's different. It feels like it moves differently because there's life in that building that there isn't in newer buildings. Newer buildings are brand new. They haven't had like hope and loss and pain and joy and birth and death and all of that. They haven't had that sort of like cake into their being. Whereas old buildings, everything looks different on them and in them, and everything feels different. And I just think that is the most incredibly beautiful thing, to think of human life going back in all that time in those spaces. I'm doing it again, I'm waffling, I am sorry. Okay, I'll only do a couple more because I keep getting questions that make me just go off on one. From your point of view, which is the best animal and why? I have 2 cats and a dog, and if I tried to pick between them, there might be mutiny. Dog. Okay, one more. What is the name of the first pet you got to name? Oh, it was 2. I got a rabbit and a guinea pig at the same time. And the rabbit was called Rosie and the guinea pig was called Laura. And the rabbit was called Rosie because she had pink eyes. She was an albino rabbit, so she was white with pink eyes. And I thought the eyes were pink like Rosie's. And Laura was a guinea pig, and she was named for one of my friends. Because I was like, well, Laura is clearly the best name because my friend is called Laura. So, yeah. Thank you very much. If you've stuck with me waffling and like going off on one about just stuff I love for my own reasons, like it's my own thing, but I hope it wasn't too boring. If you're still here, like, thank you. And you know what, I like it if getting to know me is like part of the reason for this, then that would have given you a bit of an insight into A, me, and B, why I don't have many friends. So thank you very much. If you subscribe to this channel, I'm putting out a video on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday. The Wednesday and Friday are more traditional writing advice, where I do talk about breaking story down and how to build it up again so you can write your own story. Monday is when I do Ask Me Anything. You can go to my website, which is jjbarnes.co.uk, and over there you'll find all the links to my books and my film and TV work and everything else I've got going on. And my social media, so you can come chat to me. And if you want to add a question to this bag, you can drop a comment on here and give me any questions you want, or talk to me about my answers that I've just given now. If like anything interests you or terribly bored you, it's okay to let me know, because I can take it, I'll be fine. Or you can send them in on social media, or I have an Ask FM account if you want to be anonymous for any strange reason. And you know, if you've watched these videos, you know sometimes I get questions, you're like, you know that was an anonymous one, because it's a bit weird. What else do I have to do? I think that's it. So thank you very much, and I'll be back again soon. Bye.